PDC reps to talk quickly about the PDC nomination elections. The nominees.
As you all know, we've got the ASB elections for the 1996-1997 officers, and these people are in charge of homecoming and all the assemblies and various other activities such as the Gary Hop. And so when you're listening to these speeches, please look for leadership qualities and for people you want to represent your school. The first nominee for ASB Activities Coordinator is Lindsay Evans.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lindsay Evans, and I'm running for the office of Activities Coordinator. But before you listen to me, I'd like to listen to you. Pretend there's an imaginary line running right down the middle of the bleachers here. First, I'd like to listen to this side, and then I'd like to listen to this side. Now, when I point to your side, I'd love to hear you guys yell the word Bellevue, okay? And when I point to your side, I'd like to hear you guys yell the word Bellevue 10 times louder than them. So it's a little competition here. Let's try it. Bellevue! Bellevue! That was pretty darn good, but you know what? It wasn't fantastic. I bet you guys can make it fantastic, so let's hear it. Bellevue! Now, those guys are good, but you know, there's more people on this side. I would think that you guys can yell louder than that. So I'll give you one more chance. Let's hear it. Bellevue! Hey, smaller does not always mean less. So, let's hear it one more time. Come on. Bellevue! Now, that's what I call school spirit. Capturing that spirit and getting it behind our teams and in our activities is one of the main duties of all ASB officers. A vote for Lindsay Evans is a vote for school spirit. And a vote for Lindsay Evans is a vote to recreate the school spirit that made Bellevue High a champion in almost every sport we play. As activities coordinator, I would plan more activities than activities coordinators have in the past. Fun activities which you will enjoy. Activities such as Battle of the Bands, all-school picnics and barbecues. These are fun activities which will encourage school spirit and school unity. So, in closing, please let me hear from you one more time. I'm going to say a magic word, and I ask that whatever side I point to, please repeat that word. The first magic word is Bellevue. Bellevue! Hi. Hi. Lindsay. Lindsay. Evans. Evans. Thank you.
As coordinator, we have Laura Young.
You are stuck in an elevator. With you in this elevator is a group of people all locked in a deafening, uncomfortable silence. And you know they're all uncomfortable because everyone's kind of looking around, trying to pretend like they're not looking at anyone in particular. Now you are stuck in this elevator, and you could simply sit there sulking until the elevator starts moving again. Instead, though, you decide to have a little bit of fun. First, you round up the group for an inspiring session of elevator music karaoke. Next, you stretch yourself across the elevator, balancing from the handrails, and suggest that everybody limbo. And finally, since all these fun activities have unified the group, you all decide to form a human pyramid for the people watching you through the glass elevator walls. All of a sudden, the elevator starts moving again, and you reach your floor. When the doors open, though, you are surprised to find that instead of leaping to your freedom, you're a bit nostalgic. Obviously, you will get off, and you will move along with your day. But you're not quite as eager as you would have thought, because you had fun on the elevator. I look at our next year of high school as being like this elevator. Now, it's not like we're all stuck here, or like we don't want to be here or anything, but in any case, we are all here. And just like in this elevator, we have a choice. We could simply sit around, but instead, we want to make next year an awesome one. And the way to do this is through activities. Activities that are so creative and fun that just like in the elevator, they draw a group of people together for a great time. Here are some examples. First, I'd like to give a rebirth to the Battle of the Bands. The Battle of the Bands is one gigantic concert with high school bands from Bellevue, Sammamish, Newport, and other surrounding schools. The music is great, and it's a fun way to meet people from different schools. Also, we could have pre-football game tailgate parties, where everyone shows up at Bellevue before the game with coolers and food and music, and has a great time getting psyched up for the game. Another possibility would be at homecoming, for each class to paint a mural on the outside gym wall that faces the tennis court. This way, we could leave our mark on the school, at least for the full week of homecoming. These ideas aren't the only possibilities for next year, though. When elected, I'd like to listen to you and get some of your creative ideas for the upcoming year. In my 3 years at Bellevue so far, I've enjoyed jobs that have given me experience in doing just that, listening to people's ideas and putting them into action. Much of my experience comes from serving as the vice president and then the president of my class. In these roles, I also work closely with ASB officers with things like homecoming and school assemblies, and gain a strong sense of how these activities work. I'm confident that I can use my experience and all of our creative activities for a great year next year. So when that year rolls around to June, and the school doors open to summer vacation, we may all just get that same sense of elevator nostalgia. Now, I'm not cheesy enough to suggest that we'd be so nostalgic as to want to continue the school year. We will leave, but we will leave with a great feeling about the school year and the fun experiences we've had. So when voting for activities coordinator, vote Laura Young.
Hello everyone, I'm Josh Needleman, this year's treasurer. And these three gentlemen right here have the Herculean task of trying to replace me. Well, maybe it isn't that difficult, but anyway, first off we have Mr. David Forsythe.
Hi, I'm David Forsythe, but most of you probably know me as Harry, Hairball, Hubert, Harrison, Dave, Forsythe, or something to that effect. I'm running for the office of ASB treasurer. I have been at Bellevue for 3 years, which means, for all you math geniuses, that I will be a senior next year. My experience as a student here at Bellevue has led me to some valuable conclusions about ASB. The first of these is that the office you are elected to is not as important as what the ASB does as a whole.
What is your boyfriend, Mark?
The group of officers needs to work together, not just as treasurer or just president, but as a group. And when those tough decisions need to be made, that's when I can really have an impact. I really know how to throw my weight around. And for those of you who haven't seen my stomach, that's a lot more weight than you might think. A lot more. The second thing that I have learned is that students want the ASB to make events fun for everyone. The ASB this year did an excellent job of making these events fun, but what I think we need is more. Almost everyone really enjoys the assemblies and pep rallies. By having more of these activities, the school will have more spirit and we can really make next year last. Finally, I have learned that ASB requires both time and effort for the people involved. Since I have pretty much no life, this should be easy. I am also old enough to drive a car, which enables me to get to these meetings. Now, even though this car is a 78 blue hunk of metal with no paint or speakers, it is better than Sherbrooke's ugly 1892 green bug and McDowell's 86 Buick, which is like it should be driven by an 86-year-old blind grandmother. So when you go to the polls, vote Forsythe, Harry, David, or any of the names you know me by. Just remember who will make next year a blast for everyone.
Bill.
Yeah. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Mike Hill, and I want to be your next ASB treasurer. Now think of the word treasure for a second. What's the first thing you think of? Well, that's right. If you thought like me, I think a lot of things. Well, if you're also like me, maybe you think that it takes a math class with a book about this big to count money. It's a pretty big book. But sure, the treasure is the money, man. But you don't need a huge brain the size of a basketball to be able to count it. Because anyone who passes 3rd grade can count money. The job of the treasurer is knowing how to use it. And being a junior, spending 3 years at this school, I have a couple ideas about how it should be spent. Now, Bellevue High has a history of being great in a whole lot of things, and all those things involve all of you. But there are a lot of smaller clubs and activities that don't get the monetary support from the school that they need to be successful. Like, take a look at these pants. These are wrestling warm-ups from about 1978, but they're also the wrestling warm-ups for 1995 and 1996. And I don't know about you, but I'm sure they might feel a little better about themselves, maybe a little more successful if they had some new warm-ups. And it's not just them. Where the money goes, the people go as well. And it's a lot more fun for everyone if there's a whole lot of people out there enjoying the success of a successful activity. And I don't want to take away from the already successful programs that we have here at Bellevue already. If we can spread the school's money around to everything it has, it can make everything that much better for all of you. There's nothing I want more than to help you have a great time here at Bellevue High. These are supposed to be some of the greatest times of our lives, and I think it's a tragedy if someone looks back to high school as something they'd rather forget. There's a lot of things I can do to help you, and believe me, I can. But in order for me to help you, I have to ask that you help me first. It's the one time I put myself ahead of you. So when lunchtime rolls around, I ask that you vote for one thing. But when you do, vote for who you think is right, and vote for who will do the best job for you. Thanks.
Finally, we have Mr. Brad Cahill.
Hey, my name is Brad Cahill, and some of you may not have noticed me because of my overwhelming size, but I'm actually a freshman. I know this may come to a shock to some of you, but that's the way it is. You know, you're probably all thinking right now, why the heck should I vote for a freshman to be our school's ASB treasurer? I mean, shouldn't a freshman just be, stuffed in a locker somewhere or something like that? Well, that's why I'm giving this speech. I'm here to prove to you that just because I'm a freshman doesn't mean I can't do the job right. Over the course of the year, I've learned a lot about BHS by watching some of my friends who've been here the past couple of years. And I've also learned a lot about ASB leadership by watching my friends Mark Thereton and Steve Clifton work their magic. If I'm elected as our school's ASB treasurer, I'll do my best to fulfill your needs and get the most of the money that we have. Just as my posters say, I'll work hard to strengthen my student body. Okay, over treasurer.
Hi, I'm Nate Hickey, and I'd like to introduce our first candidate for secretary, the man with the biggest pocket protector, Mr. Charles Shear.
Thanks, Nate. And I gotta admit, I really don't have a pocket protector, even though they are really cool. But some of you know, at times I get a little bit silly and kind of goof off and stuff, but now it's time to be a little bit more serious. Right now, for the ASB secretary, I have two primary goals. The first is to perform the duties of secretary with good follow-through and with really good leadership. My second goal is to increase school spirit through student body participation in school activities. Okay. If you, the students, desire a change or just want to see something new, the only way the ASB officers can know that is if you speak up. And I think I'm the right person that you can talk to, and I can listen to your ideas. Through my 3 years at BHS, or 2.5 years, I've been able to meet a nice cross-section of students from my various sports and clubs. I also have the advantage of already attending leadership camp, which is required for all officers, even though it was to go and meet girls, but that was still a good experience anyways. Now, I don't want you to vote for me because I am the best looking guy in the school.
I do want you to vote for me so I can fulfill the job well, provide good leadership, and since we have great activities here, we need to increase participation in them. So remember to vote, and when you do, check Shearer for secretary. Thanks. Our next candidate for the office of secretary is Mr. Dan Chestnut.
You know, if you don't respect your clothes, nobody else will. You know, ever since the first day that I announced that I was going to run for ASB secretary, a lot of people gave me some pretty strange looks. I could see a look of disgust draw upon a young man's face as he began to envision what my candidacy might mean for the school. Get out of class free cards, wanton disrespect of authority, total and complete anarchy throughout the school. But just as soon as I saw these thoughts pop into a young scholar's head, I quickly put that person's worries to rest with a detailed explanation of what my candidacy would do for you. The fact of the matter is, I'm a man. I believe that everyone in their own special way is deserving. For instance, I do believe that Stevie Clifton deserves to be reincarnated as a computer. I believe Josh Edelman deserves a haircut. That's your choice. I believe Brad Cahill deserves to break the 5-foot barrier, and David Forsythe deserves to shave. I believe that the junior class deserves to win the homecoming class song competition, but I digress. I believe Gary deserves a new record. I believe Goober deserves to be ordained Grand Exalted Pimp of the school. I believe Mr. Sherbrooke deserves to wear clothing made after 1978. But most importantly, I believe in myself and what I can bring to the table next year. A lot of people may be sitting in their seats right now thinking, this guy's just a regular schmo. He couldn't do the job. The fact of the matter is, I've held a steady job throughout high school, coached 2 basketball teams, and in so doing, I've learned to budget my time far better than anyone I know. Not to brag. Those of you who know me already know I have a big ego, so no problem. But most importantly about me is the fact that I'm the single most in-tune, accessible candidate there is out there. I want each of you as the individual to think, who of the candidates could you relate to the most? Who would do the best jobs making the funnest assemblies? Who would throw the best parties? One thing that made this year's ASB officers so great was they're just fun guys. They're really creative, and they're just guys I'd like to pal around with. Simply put, I'm a fun-loving guy, and I promise to keep it fun in Bellevue High School. So you know what's up, you know what you're gonna do. Vote Chestnut, he's the best nut.
All right, our last and final candidate for the office of secretary is Ms. Cecily Coop.
Wolverines, your assignment this morning is to select one candidate for secretary who will record and carry our school into 1997. If you vote Agent 0097, aka Cecily Cooney, this mission will be a success. Cooney's looking pretty qualified for this position, but I'll let you decide for yourself. Her qualifications are more than adequate with her organization and good note-taking skills. This Army of Wolverines will receive the necessary leadership and guidance to have a fun-filled year. Cooney is serious when it comes to getting the job done, but that doesn't keep her from having a sense of humor. Her calmable personality and willingness to be kind and cheerful to others allows her to be an easy person to work with. She's dedicated and has the ability to be creative, thus always getting the job done. Her teamwork and dedication allows her to be an easy person to work with. Her acceptance of one's individuality causes her to be respected and appreciated by many of her fellow soldiers at Bellevue High School. We're sure that whoever is chosen to take on responsibilities as secretary will do an excellent job. But if you decide to take the advice of an experienced officer, then you'll check double up for Cooney on your ballot. Remember, next year's mission could be very difficult, or it could be one that's quite easy. It's all up to you. Pick the candidate that will make next year the best year ever. I am Cecily Cooney, and so please vote for me, because next year will be the best year ever. Thank you.
Clifton Vice President, and I'm supposed to announce the
the candidates running for vice president, and I would usually kind of list the qualifications for doing so, but I think you'd find the candidate severely lacking, so I won't bother doing so. Here's Tom Clifton for ASB.
Hi, my name is Tom Clifton, and I'm running for ASB Vice President. As you probably know, I'm running unopposed for this position, but that doesn't mean that you just shouldn't think before just checking my name off the ballot. Carefully consider the following: my goals for the school, my personal qualities, and the enormous size of my enthusiasm. As your next Vice President, I'll continue to make homecoming and other school activities fun for everyone. In addition, I'll keep the students interested at school assemblies by making them as fun and interesting as possible. Lastly, I'll give the students a voice in the school through the Student Senate. Since I have no competition, I really don't have to be up here, but I just want you to see your next Vice President. So remember, vote Tom Clifton, and if you're not going to vote, who cares? Thank you.
And the first candidate for ASB president is Casey Klopp.
Good morning. Okay, before we get started, I'd like to have the candidates please rise. All right, can I now have the students rise? Let's go, get up, come on. Get off your butt right there, come on.
Hey, Klopp, you're the man.
You're the man, Ray. Okay, now what I want you guys to do is to twist like this. Come on now, Nate, let's go. Attaboy. All right, you can sit down. Now, if you're willing to make a fool out of yourself because I just made one out of myself, then that's the type of leadership you need as ASB president. Now that I've demonstrated my leadership, I'm going to tell a story. There's a story of a young man walking through the forest. Upon walking through the forest, he encounters a lion. What would you think? There's a lion in the forest? Or would you just continue eating your Jell-O pudding snack? I don't know. But that story is kind of random, and the ability to be random is something that'll make the assemblies that much more exciting next year. Also, having been at another high school, I have seen ideas during assemblies that could work here, that could get the school spirit up a little bit. School spirit is something that people have complained about this year. But with me as ASB president, we'll get functions together to excite the school. Like Lindsay and Laura's suggestions, we can do activities that will make the school excited about being here. So when you make your way to the ballot today at lunch, make sure to put Klopp on top.
And the final candidate of the day, nice pants, is Jeff Chung.
Mrs. Hatcher, teachers, faculty members, and most importantly, fellow students. Hi. Many tough decisions. Intelligence counts, of course, which I already have. But when it comes out to making correct and precise decisions, I believe that experience is the most important thing. Fortunately, I had a chance to lead my class of 1997, as this year's Vice President. I learned many valuable lessons, such as getting different kinds of people get involved, and how to run the meetings smoothly and effectively. These are just few of the things I learned, which will only help me become a great ASB President. Also, I believe that I can be the best communicating passage between you guys and the student government. There's no need to have a student government if each and every one of you cannot express your feelings or problems towards school. The only reason ASB exists is to hear your problems and fix them. Not for teachers, not for administrators, but for us, students. I can say this because I don't belong to any particular group or clique. I'm not a jock. but I'm not a nerd. I don't belong to any racial group, such as white, black, dark yellow, or light brown, wherever it may be. I believe that I can defend communicating passage because I'll be able to hear from all of you, not just from a particular group. Thirdly, I am the man to bring PH to one body. I believe that I can do this because I know two other unknown and almost forgotten part of Bellevue High School. They have built some kind of invisible wall between themselves and this Bellevue High School, and they refuse to participate. They are people who cannot speak English very well and who doesn't feel comfortable being in school. I truly know how frustrating it can be to not being able to speak English. I know this because I didn't know a word of English 5 years ago. English is a very tough language to learn, and it's very hard to get involved when you don't know what's going on around you. I worked very hard on it. Now I speak English just like you guys, native speakers. Almost. Well, maybe not, but also, I know people who doesn't really feel comfortable at this school. When I came to Bellevue High School 3 years ago, as a freshman, I didn't know anyone, and I felt completely left out. I wasn't involved in any of the school activities, and I felt very bad about myself. With help from many friends, I was able to come out of that discomfort zone, and I was able to get involved. And I want to help those of you who feel left out right now. This is my ultimate goal, to break language barrier or discomfort barrier or whatever barrier that may be. I want to break that barrier and make us one body. Not two, but one united body. Finally, I want to make next year very memorable for everyone. Freshmen, you'll finally have someone younger than you to play with. And sophomores, you guys will be a proud upperclassmen. And class of 1997 will be seniors. The year we've been waiting for all this time. I believe that my experience, dedication, desire to make school one, and my leisure qualifies me as a great ASB president. Please change the school by donating your couple minutes of lunchtime and vote for Jeff Chung. Thank you very much.
All the candidates, as a last reminder, class officer election packets will be in the activities office tomorrow and will be due sometime next week. So we hope we can get a lot of you to clap! Woo! Do that too. So you are now dismissed to
How are you? Assembly is going to be so awesome.
to find out who rules the school in the boxing arena. First of all, coming from the senior class, we're looking for Muhammad Ali Jefferson. Alright, and the other half of the ring will be from the freshman class, Owen the Trainer. Alright, hop in the ring, keep your shoes on. Alright, overhead blows. If you knock your opponent into or out of the ring, stop hitting. Are you guys ready? Okay, walk forward, knock gloves, and shoot your workmanship. Ladies and gentlemen, seniors, are you ready? The judges unanimously decide Muhammad Ali is the winner. Already in here? Okay. For the junior class, England, match lightning around. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Ready, set.
Elliot McIntosh is trying to get PJ.
Jordan, better hit her, baby. One shot.
One shot, jump.
Jordan Ross, okay.
Oh, God!
We had planned to give the first edition of the annual to Mr. Wolf. Unfortunately, it was stolen. I know. We had all our best people working on it. 00 Owsley, Special Agent Sherbrooke. Unfortunately, they have been reported dead. We only have one host left, and we don't know if he's ever even going to make it back alive. It's really risky. Hopefully he can do it. I'm not sure. There has to be. It's the only way. It's the first edition. Do you understand the importance? The unbelievable significance of this edition? You guys know how important this was to me. And I don't know if I can take it. I really don't. I hope you guys can all sympathize. Is that alright? It's okay with you guys? Alright. Well, hopefully we'll get back in time because we really need that first edition. Anyway.
let's give a big round of applause to the annual staff, starting with Jody Anderson, Elizabeth Bernard, Adrian Cawley, Joe Sheff, Allison Dillon, Emily Flynn, Carrie Quinn, Angie Lamson, Alexi McPherson, Katie Mullen, Andy Reel, Darshana Shaw, Shaundi Smith, Amy Sola, and the associate editor, Mark Sola, and the almighty editor, Heather Carey. Let's give them a big round of applause. The advisor is Jim Howard.
That's Paul, there's going to be Justin Roser and his all-star punk band, and there's going to be Tomo and the gang of rowdy freshmen. Alright, as you all know, our lovely assistant principal, Sharon Hatcher, has volunteered to be first in the dunk tank. Up here now, I have to auction the first dunk off. Now those of you who brought your checkbooks, we are accepting checks. American Express is welcome. Anything you have, any method of payment. The bidding will start at $15. And you don't, hold on, you don't have to throw the balls. You get to walk up and just punch the thing and watch it fall in the water. So, come on, let's hear it. Do I have 15 bucks? Come on, 15 bucks. You know you want to see this as much as I do. Sold the Bowman for $32.
Now, first of all, lunch is free today. You pay no money, but you have to get your tickets at the door from the ASB officers. Second of all, annual will be passed out after lunch by class. You don't bother going until your class is called. Junior prom tickets are on sale today for the last time. Cheap. It's $20, and if you buy it at the door, it's $25 per couple. Lastly, we really want to hold a campus day 97. So, we really need you guys all to participate today so we can hold it next year. With that, we send you off to campus day.
Sharon Hatcher and her daughter Courtney. Are you graduating?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Idaho.
Idaho. What are you going to do in Idaho?
Play football.
Oh, football. Good luck, Brett.
Thank you.
Red Borselli hits the dirt.
I'm not wet. I'm not wet. I'm dry.
Hi, Greg.
Oh.
How did it feel?
Well, I'm rather dry right now. But it's not going in again. Ain't good enough.
By Nate Johnson. And down he went, courtesy of Mike. Nice legs, Borselli, nice legs.
We want a picture, not a belly itcher. He's a track star.
They don't jump in it.
Nice try, Rick.
I'd pay $20
Rick, wait.
Down he went.
Ryan, Tim now. Where are you going?
What are you doing? I don't think you have to hit it that hard.
We'll try it.
Hey guys, make sure you get
Annuals, listen to some good music. Sophomores and freshmen may get their annuals. Sophomores and...
Do you put initials or just oh my gosh, it's really awesome. That's a cool picture. Hi, Jerry.
Hey, hi, Priscilla. God, I don't know if I'll ever go in.
Okay, I know.
You guys gotta get closer. Wait. Come on, boy. All right. What do we have to get there? Hey. 2 by 4. Hey, John. Come on, John. Oh, one more. Okay. Direct hit. Direct hit. Give one more. One more. Hey, my expense. Your expense. Yeah, one more. No, no, no. Hey, for something. She wants to do it honestly. Let her do it. Oh, it's close. You got more, Megan? All right.
Y le habla en inglés, en inglés.
Give her one more. One more.
How long is it till you're in, Sharon?
Hi, Megan.
So, go up to Annie Mays and ask him, oh, I got a joke. Here's a poem by Annie Mays. It's called Monkey's Mum. We call him dumb. we think it's fun. We laugh at him because he gets none. He had a chick who was 4 feet and some. She was dirty and he is a bum. She was the first to make... Never mind, I can't read that line. Bowman knows what I'm talking about. But first he had to give her 80 proof rum. She said this was the size of his thumb. So he went home and beat his mum. To the beat of the drum, she didn't blink or something out her gum. She got, I can't read this guy, I must have been drunk.
Hi, Kenneth. Ken Pettyjohn. Sitting on the dump tank.
I'm still up. That's all the harder you can go.
Egg 'em on, Ken. Come on, Micah. Oh. Yeah. Yep.
Are you going to be home tomorrow?
In the morning, Nate has a 2 o'clock doubleheader.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Right now, I just told my mom I have an appointment I have to go to right now.
Okay.
About tomorrow morning, like 11:30 or something like that.
Hang on. I had it on all that time. Go up there and free push.
No, I'm buying the ticket for you. Come first.
You kick it flat. Micah.
Oh, hit it now! Hit it now!
Sitting in the water, it's all warm. Once you get in the water, get back out, then the wind comes.
Hit it. Okay, who wants to go next? Teacher, you can go too. That feeling more than anything. Should we give him another rating? Oh, they want a rating.
Do it.
Tell them if your parents have to write a letter, so don't Where is mine?
Oh, close. Ryan Kyle.
Go, Ryan. Hey, you tried.
Students versus faculty. Softball game. Eric Hall is up to bat. Carol.
No, but that's supposed to be about.
Run scores. 20 seconds, Sarah!
Back it up.
One zip, baby.
Rogers up. Good swing, Elliot. Try it again, Elliot. Run, Elliot. Softball team, Josh Nielsen is the pitcher. Caleb is playing first. Ted Cox is up. 1-1. Oh, foul ball. Go, Ted, run! He's gonna make it, he's gonna make it. Single by Mr. Cox. Heidi Hepesitzer is up. Let's go, Heidi. Hit the ball, Heidi. Oh, wait for it. Heidi. Juice. Oh. So, run, Heidi. And on the throw, and just on the throw. Heidi is safe at first. Ball line. Lego is up. Run, shot, run! One down. Twinkle is up. One out. Runners at first and second.
Oh, Nielsen, you're spinning him. You can't.
Whoa, check swing. Oh! There's Over the third, 2 outs. With their heads, Jenny. Yeah! Oh, 3 down. Jason Otten. Foul ball. There's 1-1.
There it is.
Fly ball! Nice catch. Collision in the infield. 1 out. Foul ball. Jefferson is up.
Jefferson! Come on! Woo!
That's 3. Score is 1-1.
First base is no good.
There on the throw. There's Robinson's up. Over the head of Taylor Bopane into left field.
Pay attention to the ball. Coach, Scoop, no better, no better.
Dave Schurbrook is up. No outs. Foul ball.
Not good. Big hitter. Big hitter. Yeah.
Mr. Engel is up. Runners at first and second. Greg Borselli is up.
Hello. Nice. Go for the back of his bat. Pick your spot, Greg. Hey, Jim.
Good hit, way to get it.
Back up, big guy. My bad. I left the guy.
I'll pitch it any way you want.
Just! Next 96. First base.
Greg Laser is up. 1 out.
There you go. Wow.
Woo! Single. Jeff Wise. Let's go, Jeff. Foul ball. Oh, good try.
Come on, Bill.
Taylor Bopane is up. Jimmy Luck, got the ball.
You may want to.
To the catcher, Elliot. One more, Elliot. One more.
All right, let's go.
Straight down, Elliot.
Over there, Elliot.
You were gonna do it.
Go!
I tried to do it.
Oh!
Nice job.
Yeah.
Homecoming kickoff assembly. We have a full schedule of events today. We have class competitions. We have the homecoming, the first starting of Spirit Week. We have the class songs. We have the introduction of royalty. But first, we have to sing the national anthem. Can we have drill please come out?
might even wish you were them. Here they are, the 1996 homecoming royalty. From the freshman class, we have Mark Erler and Noel Dasha. Also from the freshman class, Martha Gordon and Tia Royabat. Get out here! From the sophomore class, we have Nick Pignon and Jamie Wilkinson. Also from the sophomore class, Tyler Rourke and Teresa Barrow. From the junior class, the pimp of the school, Goober. Also from the juniors, welcome Abby Ginsberg and Chris Halley. Finally, from the senior class, senior power, please welcome Tom Jones and Abigail Cowan. Nate Hickey and Brianna Kellogg. And finally, please welcome Mr. Jeffrey Gross and Karen Sanders.
Thank you, royalty. Let's give another round of applause. And now, I have a little issue to address. We're taking a lot of flack from a lot of people about not having any class competitions. And frankly, I'm thinking the ASB office for the last 7 years, fellas. Can I ask all the members, you know who you are, please come down.
Get you guys pumped up for this football game that's coming up on Friday. Come watch me kick. Alright, well, we'll play this squad, you guys know, and we're gonna kick their ass. For spirit. Now, this first competition is the main event at every single homecoming. What I'm talking about is a song competition now. The point of this is for us to give it up for your class song. So first, let's start with the freshmen. Let's go, freshmen.
now.